Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzalez, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
Hey, welcome back to the Babies in Business Podcast. This is your host, Avram Gonzalez, joined by my beautiful, fabulous, and lovely co-host, Rachel Gonzalez. What's up, girl?
Hi.
We have spent all day together, and it's like after hours recording this podcast while the baby is asleep. Let's get into it. Today's topic is your first hire and choosing the right partner. This is a topic that both Rachel and I are very excited about because it has completely transformed our life, our business, and the way that we do everything, and I think how we navigate and see the world now. If you really take hold of this topic and some of the things that we're going to share with you today and take it to heart, I think you could change and transform everything for you as well. I'll take you back to a time that we're going to talk about it. It was my last relationship. This is the one that I had before Rachel, and I spent almost 7 years with this person, only to find out that we were way too much alike. Okay? Way too much alike. And that created a lot of problems in our household because there were things that both of us hated to do, so they never got done. And the things that we liked to do, we would sometimes fight about who would do those things. Like, maybe you can relate. Maybe you had a relationship like that. Maybe you had a team member like that or a business partner. But like, we've all been there where we've been hanging out with or spending too much time with somebody who is just like us. And when it was fire, it was good. But when you poured gasoline on it, it was just really bad. The next thing I want to talk about as we set the tone for the rest of our conversation today is what it was like for both Rachel and I. We weren't always in business together. We both had our own businesses when we first met each other. And Rachel was running a tailoring and alterations business here in Albuquerque. There were some things you loved about it and some things you didn't love about it. And I think that'll help us paint the picture for today.
Yeah, sure. So the things I loved about it were working on a project that was attached to somebody that I really like to work with. So working with the people and doing the work. I really like the intricacies of working on a wedding dress because I can actually make that person's dream come true about how they want to look on the most important day of their life, arguably.
Yeah.
So that is some of the things that I really loved to do. The things that I really did not love to do were anything related to marketing, really talking about my business, like knowing how to talk about my business and the strategies that go along with it. So those are some of the huge pain points for me. And strategizing it's just not my strength.
And for me, running the business that we run together now, Digital Harvest, there's always, I love the sales part. I loved cooking up all the campaign ideas. I loved, like Rachel's used the word strategy a few times. I love all of that piece. Like, what I really hated was actually doing the work. Like, everything that came after what was the fun part for me. Even little things like having to bill the customer or, like, I'm good with people. I like talking to people. I'm a great salesperson. But honestly, like, some of the customer service part of it was a little bit of a drag. I'm just not good at all the back and forth emails and things like that. So
yeah, stuff
stuff like that was just hard. So coming together, we realized pretty quickly, how opposite we are.
Yeah, and I know we've mentioned this in a previous podcast, but the StrengthsFinder test really did help us hone in on that and really own, like, letting you be who you are and letting me be who I am and really loving the strengths in each other instead of mourning the maybe weaknesses of each other and like making that the thing that really irritates us.
Yeah.
So instead of focusing on what we didn't do well, we focused on what we do well. And coming into business together, we were able to find out that there are just simply things that you need to never touch and I need to never touch because you are really good at things and I'm really good at things and they're not the same things. So let each other be in our respective roles. And we really complement each other.
I found that I was riding this like roller coaster in my business, both emotionally and financially, because I had a push-pull relationship with the things that I liked versus didn't like. So I would equivocate, I think, in the back of my mind, every sale that I made, it was like, woohoo, and then it was like, oh crap. Like now there's all of this work and stuff to do that I don't actually want to do. We have another mentor. His name is Ivan Meisner. He's the founder of BNI, Business Networking International. He uses this phrase all the time. He talks about being in your flame versus being in your wax. And I want to talk about that here today because when it comes to choosing the right partner, now, by the way, when you're looking at like a business partner, you don't have to have a partner to be successful, but you do have to have a team. So partner, team member, those are interchangeable here. Okay. And for those of you who are just starting out, your first hire is going to be a little bit different. I'll talk about that in a minute about what your opposite, your partner, should actually be. All of us are geared to enjoy certain things and excel in those things. And if we were to spend more time in those roles, we would live a more happy, fulfilled, and prosperous life. It's all the other things that really suck the energy out of us. So the things that you like, Ivan Meisner described as the flame. The things that you don't like or that are hard for you to do or they're outside of your zone of genius, that's your wax. So oftentimes solopreneurs spend a lot of time in both the flame and the wax struggling to get a lot of traction.
Well, and I think we also agonize about hiring the people to do the things that we hate because we're like, why would we give someone something we hate?
Yeah, why put them through that?
You and I are wired in such a way that there is no way that we would ever hire somebody to do something that we loathe because we would never burden them with that.
I don't want to put them through that.
Yeah. But what we have found coming together is that you can let an email ruin your whole day one time.
That's true.
Multiple times.
That's more than multiple times.
You told me about it at the end of the day, and my question to you, if you remember it, was, why didn't you just forward that email to me and let me know that you needed help with this?
True.
Because you could have just sent it to me, been done with it in like 5 minutes if you needed to write a note to explain what was going on.
It's true.
And then it would be in my plate. And oh boy, I would love to have something to do, especially if I was able to go and do something and check it off of a list. We have found working together that while you don't love to do certain things, I love them. And while you love them, I don't love them. So you found out that, oh my gosh, I can give someone something that they love it. I hate it, but they love it. So then you feel a little bit more free to do that. And I think it's a beautiful thing when that aha moment happens for you.
Right.
Building a business while raising a family can be tough to juggle for any entrepreneur. Knowing where to focus and how to spend your limited time is critical to your success. That's why Babies in Business has produced and made available a fantastic audio resource for you. It's titled 5 Key Focus Areas to Build a Profitable Business Without Burnout. During this short training, Rachel and Avram peel back the curtain on their secrets to building a business that serves your family, your dreams, and beyond. To download your free copy of the 5 Key Focus Areas, go to babiesandbiz.com/download. Again, that's babiesandbiz.com/download to get your free copy. We hope you enjoy. Now, back to the podcast.
I think I see it all the time in our household as well with baby Lincoln and the kind of like the division of roles. And there's a lot of flexibility in that. Like we don't always do the same things, but there are certain things. Like one of the things that humbled me early in our relationship was I thought I was pretty good at like, Tetrising stuff together. Like I thought I had really good spatial awareness, and I still maintain that I do. But she is way better at like packing the car or like getting all of the things together. Who's really good at knowing what to get together? Me. I'm really good at making that list and knowing about and anticipating all of the possible things that could go wrong that we need to pack for and be prepared for.
And then I go ahead behind you and I get the list.
Exactly.
I just put all the stuff in the bag or in the car.
Exactly. And I think that's why babies have 2 parents.
Yeah.
And I know that there's people that have a lot of different situations and how their family looks and what that's like. But I don't think anybody starts their journey of parenthood saying, I would love to do this all by myself.
Yeah.
Because it is so hard and there's just so much to it, yet alone running and a business on top of it is just crazy. I don't know how some people do it, but people do it. So ideally, there's at least two people involved when raising a baby. And I think with building a business, at least two people involved in making something substantial that can really grow. And so when we look at, okay, what should that first hire be like? And how do I know what my opposite is? Because that's actually what you're looking for here.
Yeah.
There's a couple things we wanted to leave you with here today. I think first thing that you can do is you can look at and maybe track the tasks and things that you're working on this week. Maybe do it for 2 weeks or something. And just take note of all those things and then sit down with that list and ask yourself, did this thing give me energy or did it drain my energy? Because you're going to identify that you are likely one of two different people. This is something that changed my life. This is the piece I was teasing you about in the beginning. Most business owners are one of two different types of people. You are either more geared towards the marketing and sales side of building the business, or the operational side of the business, like the doing, okay? And a business needs both of those people in order to thrive. Now, there's somebody listening that's like, well, I like both of these. And I'm going to tell you, like, good luck with that. When you find out which way you actually lean, then you'll be empowered to bring somebody in who can support you on the other side.
I think that we also need to remember, as entrepreneurs, we're talking about all the strengths and leaning into those strengths and hiring for your weakness, having someone come in and help you to fill those roles that absolutely just drain you, that you procrastinate, that you dawdle, that you take forever to do, that you just don't. You would rather go and clean the dog poop from your backyard than do these jobs.
That's a good point. The stuff you're delaying.
So if you're delaying it, that's a really good sign that you don't like it, that you're not empowered by it. You don't wake up and get out of bed and think, yay, I'm going to go do this. So sometimes in business alone, and not even sometimes, in business alone, you feel like you need to do everything. Maybe you're constrained by budget. Maybe you're constrained by many different things. Sometimes we think that we need to be good at everything and do everything. Even if we're not good at everything, we have to duct tape and put some toothpaste on it, just get it done.
But only I can do this.
Right. Only I can do this. But really, if you hired somebody and they were able to put 100% of their effort behind that task or any task that you gave them, they would do it better than you because you're not currently giving it 100% of your attention.
You're being split in a million different ways, wearing all these different hats.
Exactly. So the thing that I believe, once we came together and we saw that we were total opposites, instead of being mad at each other and head to head and butting heads and you need to be better at this because I'm good at it and yada, we can really celebrate each other's differences. We can celebrate what we bring to the relationship. And if you are doing business alone, do yourself a favor and stop telling yourself the shoulds that the world is telling you of. I should be good at this. I should be good at that. I should do this. This should come easy to me. I should be able to handle this. All the things, if you say should before whatever it is, you need to get rid of that task because nobody is good at everything. And when you get someone in that can help you with the things that you don't love, not only will you get energy back, your business will grow.
But Rachel, how am I possibly going to afford somebody who's my opposite? Guess what? I've got you covered. Maybe it's not that person right away, but there are so many opportunities available for you to unload 10 to 20 hours of your workload a week with a virtual assistant that will run circles around you doing all the admin stuff.
Yeah.
But Avram, the admin stuff only takes me a little bit of time. Look, I hear you on that, but when you're switching tasks over and over during the day, I don't care how superhuman you think, you are losing a lot of energy and efficiency by having to do that so much. You can hire somebody. You can go to Upwork.com. There's a million different other places where you can hire a virtual assistant for $5 to $10 an hour on the other side of the world. And they speak perfect English. And they'll be on it. They'll work during your hours. So there's a lot of options and a lot of availability for people to fill those roles, help you get into the driver's seat of your business, in the place where you love to be, and be empowered by somebody covering all those things that you don't like to do.
Yeah. I'd like to leave you with a challenge of don't make excuses for why this can't work for you. Ask better questions. How can I fill in the blank? How can I receive more? How can I hire someone to help me with this? How can I ask different questions instead of making statements about how things aren't working. Ask different questions and answers will appear.
I love it. That's a beautiful place for us to stop off here on today's podcast, your first hire and choosing the right partner. I think this has been a brilliant discussion of all the ways that working with your opposite and having people in your life that are different than you are only going to help you be better, be stronger in your business to grow. So with that, we just appreciate you listening. Thanks for dropping by. Connect with us on social media on all the different platforms. You can also drop us a line at hello@babiesandbiz.com. Let us know if you've got any questions or future podcast ideas you'd like us to cover. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, whether you're on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever platform you're listening to us right now. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.